As we mentioned, Donald Trump is under fire for his reaction to a speech by the father of an American Muslim soldier killed in the Iraq War. Khizr Khan challenged the Republican nominee's qualification for office at last week's DNC. This led some people to question Trump's temperament.
A new CBS News poll shows only 31% of voters believe Donald Trump has the right temperament to be president. That's compared to Hillary Clinton's 57%. Well, last night at a rally in Carson City, Nevada, a military mom asked Mike Pence about Trump's record of criticizing those who have served.
Time and time again, Trump has disrespected our nation's armed forces and veterans, and his disrespect for Mr. Khan and his family is just an example of that. Will there ever be a point in time when you're able to look at Trump in the eye and tell him enough is enough?
It's okay.
You have a son in the military.
It's okay.
How do you tolerate his disrespect?
Well, I thank you for the question. It's all right. It's all right. Folks, that's what freedom looks like, and that's what freedom sounds like, okay? It is. Let me just say, first, I want to honor your son's service to the country and your family's service to the country. I truly do, man. Let me say, I know this has been much in the news of late, in the last few days. But as I said last night, as Donald Trump said, I think Saturday night, Captain Khan is an American hero, and we honor him and honor his family as we do all Gold Star families.
Catherine Byrne is the military mom who was booed at that rally, and she joins us now from Reno, Nevada. Ms. Byrne, thank you so much for being with us, and also thank you to your family and your son especially for his service. You have our deepest gratitude. But I want to ask you, what made you decide to attend that rally and to voice your opposition?
Well, the opportunity came to me. I just happened to have the day off. Pence was going to be in town, and the place that he was at was just 2 miles from my house, so I was just available to go. And I think that it was just very relevant at the time. What he has said about the Khan family was just really, really upsetting to me. So the opportunity came to me to actually confront someone who's trying to stand side by side and support Trump. And my question is just how does he stand next to him?
I was curious if you were surprised by the reaction of the crowd or the response from Mike Pence.
I was surprised at the reactions to the crowd. I knew that I, was going to ask a sensitive question, and actually there was really only one word that was sensitive to that question, and it was the use of the word Khan. It was when I had said the man's name is when the crowd had exploded. I didn't expect that much, but what happened afterwards? Well, first of all, I was really pleased with Governor Pence's response to me. I felt very comfortable with what he said, and I was very thankful for his kind words to me. But what I was really surprised at what happened is, as the rally, I stayed to the end, and as things wound down, we're walking out. People are tapping me on the shoulder and tapping me on the arm and saying, and applauding me for my courage and thanking me for being brave and standing up, and asking a very sensitive question. A very candid, valid question.
Catherine, have you spoken to your son? He's been in the military since 2008. Has he seen some of the things or heard some of the things that Donald Trump has said, especially about the Khan family?
I haven't followed up with him in the last 24 hours, whether he has been hearing about this. He's typically not a news watcher, and he's 12 hours ahead of me, so we usually have maybe some time distance before we communicate. However, I did let him know beforehand that I was going to go to, attempt to meet Governor Pence and ask him a question. So my son was aware that I was going to a rally, and I also asked my son's permission to use his name and rank, and that he's currently deployed. So I did get his permission for that. But I haven't really discussed with him specifically about what's happened in the last day.
Mrs. Burns, taking a country to war is probably the most important responsibility and decision any president would ever have to face, I think, in my book.
Yes.
You have one child. What happens 5 months from now if your son's new boss is Commander-in-Chief Donald Trump? What advice will you give him?
We're taught to follow commands. And I wouldn't ask my son to do anything against his conscience. And with that, I just have to let the powers of the world be. I'm doing my part right now, speaking at my concern, and I just feel I'm doing what I can now. And other than that, I have to let just things fall into place.
I mean, it's so hard. Less than 1% of the U.S. population have family members serving abroad. It is a sacrifice. It's a pretty big sacrifice.
I think it is. I think it's a very big sacrifice.
And when you hear, Ms. Byrne, that Donald Trump received several deferments during the Vietnam War, but that he, in the past, has said that he would ask American troops to commit war crimes if he ordered them to do so, and then disparaging the family of this veteran, this man who gave his life in defense of his country. Just what goes through your mind when you hear those things?
You know, that makes me very, very angry to hear, politicians who have in the past acted like that, and then, we feel that maybe our children are used, or our family are kind of used to someone else's means. And I think I would probably stick specific with Trump on that, as a military family and a child of a, my father was in the military and my grandparents, so it's nothing new to me. We follow command, so we would respect our leaders. It's just to have a really hard time to respect Trump. I just can't do it.
I think it's such a big sacrifice that you and so many other military families face that you never get a chance to really explain for those of us who don't have family members who serve abroad. So I know it's such a tough decision for you, and to see your son going through something that it could be very difficult. So we want to thank you and for joining us, especially today.
And thank you and your son as well, ma'am, for his service to our country.
Yeah, thank you. And he is a very loyal, dedicated soldier. He would never do anything against his commanding officers. So. Yeah.
Thank you, Catherine.
I'm doing my mom part.
I know. I feel you. I feel you, Mrs. Burns. We feel you on that one.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.